Hey everyone, how's it going? What is happening? How's everyone's Monday been? Let me know. Answers on a postcard. Hey guys, what's going on? So, quick tip for everyone. I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out. I've only been using Sierra for years. You can basically squash the charts, right, like this, and then right click and go to auto scale, and it will effectively scale all the chart. Did not realize that. Piggy boy, how's it going, dude? I had probably one of the best days I've had in a while in the last few weeks today. So which is good. Let me actually see. I think it was something like 11 or 12 ticks, I think, on the 10-year and 5 ticks on the 30-year today, which is great. Pretty much made the week's quota in one day, which is nice. I decided to change my market profile to make it like a candy cane, which will full screen for you. Which is not working to full screen it. The only good setup I missed looking at other things. Yeah, nightmare, dude. Nightmare when that happens, man. So pretty balanced day. Treasuries have actually went quite bid, as you can see. So we had the open first hour, initial balance was set. I was basically buying the open, which was nice. It was good for like 7 ticks. Then I faded back down here, few ticks, and then when we had this surge up, the full curve was going bid, and I basically bought the 30-year here for 5 ticks, which is nice. I think we're probably just going to fade in now. There we go, I was pressing the wrong hotkey. So we'll just quickly zoom in here so you guys can see this. I've adjusted a few things on my treasury chart for market profile. I've only got the regular trading hours here, and I have some lines that are drawn across the little grey lines, which is basically a quarter ATR move. And then I just decided to go complete candy cane style, with the different colours for a different session that you can see here. So I've coded them for each hour of the session. Gengi, how's it going, dude? What's happening? Yeah, it's going to be completely balanced whatever's happening. So we might see some fades in ES, which we're going to jump to in a little minute. Let me just restore here. We will zoom out a few ticks. So yeah, really straightforward day in treasuries, to be honest. I don't think we're going to do very much in terms of extensions. So now that you're seeing this and you're probably wondering, I don't need to do a video about this. I think you guys will we can cover it here. So in addition, what I've added, because I have these on other screens, but now I can have it all on my peripheral. So I've got the 10s here, the 30, 30-year bond, 5-year note. Then I've got the ultra 10-year here, the ultra bond, and then I have 6E here, euro dollar, for weakness in the dollar, to be honest. So I normally have sort of an iteration of these charts on different screens, but it's nice I can have it all on one screen now, so I can effectively see the whole curve plus dollar strength. And let me know your thoughts. How does it look on the stream? Actually, let me see. Can you guys see all of that okay? I'd imagine it's quite a lot of data in front of you, but yes, you've noticed the days that you do well at. I've noticed your dome guys do well. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I actually wasn't expecting treasuries to go as big as this, to be honest. So when we got here to the pink, see if we zoom in one more, see the G and H period here, where we basically breached the highs. I was expecting it just to fade back in, but we actually got a quite a decent extension, to be honest. Got like a 6 or 7 tick extension, which happened across the board. If you squint. Anyway, let's jump into indices because there's nothing happening here. So this is why we're thinking the sweep's just happening in treasuries here in the 30 years, so we're expecting this to essentially fade back in, especially on the 30s anyway. It's doing it on the 5s, but it may just grind out down here, sort of filling out this singles from last week. So let's jump into so we flirted again with the gap area here, quite a key level, and we've now pulled in. Tomorrow's CPI is going to be fireworks. Did any of you guys watch the footprint video? I did at the weekend. Let's reset the delta here so we can see what's happening. I haven't yet. Yeah, I mean, I didn't go extremely in depth. It's kind of like an introduction. I need to go through specific setups, but to be perfectly honest with you, the footprint, I mainly use calculated values and spot imbalances just as an easier way to look at it. A lot of the actual analysis I do, or right in and now, is in the actual DOM. But I think some people like looking at a footprint, some people like looking at the DOM, some people looking at a heat map. It just really depends what what you learn on the easiest, to be honest with you. When I started doing all this, there wasn't all these cool tools and stuff. There was literally here's the depth of market and got on with it. So current people that can learn, there's a lot more to choose from. So I think if you're going to use a footprint, you need to also be using a heat map because you need to see the limit or passive side. Colin, dude, sorry if I didn't say hi, buddy. Hope you had a good session. So today we're expecting the market to end in balance, of course. Now let's get this drawn out. We have some stops that are going to be put down here, and then ultimately at the initial balance low plus the overnight low and session low down here. There is still 9k positive delta, which will maybe need to be sorted by the end of the session. And then if we don't sweep the lows here, we have pretty much got here to contend with. Point of control sort of area. A little sweep above here, previous day high, and then revert back in. Can't see it's massively extending here. Never know. Completely off topic, but the weather's been really nice here today, for a change. It's been absolutely shocking this year. You can imagine, staying in Scotland, you don't get very much sun. Let me get the pen out. Oh, I'd imagine, jeez, dude. Portugal. Very nice, man. Which colour will we go for today? Let's go for blue. Okay, so this area here, basically buyers are going to struggle to break here at 80s. Here. And then there should be some stops just down below here, and then while they're doing that, they maybe just bang it down below here, and then ultimately they'll just reverse it back in. We can see the POC's just moved here as well. So we've got, you know, this higher volume node here and here. I don't really see anything's going to happen until the next hour. Maybe get a little bit of a sell-off and probe the probe lows. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, pig. Just difference in countries, I suppose. So we can see right now as well from Delta that we're just going to slowly grinding up. Nothing massively happening. You know, I've got a micro range here and here set out, which we could very easily stay in here. So let me know, did you guys, what trades did you take today, Pig? What tickers were you in, or companies? Oh, you're in some Amazon, nice. Very nice, dude. See Mr. Long on MU. We're giving you a 5R. What's MU? No movement at all, so I take it you just scratched that pig. So watch this little blip here if we do get a hit above. Maybe take some stops, hit VWAP, and then basically come back in here. This range is going to be so tight, I think. Okay. Hey mate, so why don't I trade the New York session or London session instead of the close? So I do. I trade the bond open. So 8 a.m. New York time. I trade for 2 or 3 hours, but I specifically executing treasuries at the moment until ES picks up a bit. And I'm normally done by 1 p.m. latest New York time. And I don't trade London session because it's still pre-market in pretty much every product, to be honest. There's not that much volume that goes through. If I was to trade London session, I would need to trade a Eurex product, which is Eurostox 50 or the Bund or the Bobo and the Schatz, something like that. But I've been thinking about that for a while, and I've traded the US session now for years, and I'm kind of used to doing my prep in the mornings. Well, I'm in the UK, right? So I do my prep in the mornings, get situated, check out data, do a little bit of digging into what data's coming out, look for ranges of what I'm expecting, see how the general market has been over the whole pre-market, Globex, and then I'm pretty well prepped for New York Open or US Open. If I was to trade London session, I would need to do all of that before basically the Eurex Open. So completely different schedule, to be honest with you. And on the other screen as well, Validating, what would I need to trade order flow? Maybe you didn't take it, but okay. So what do you need to trade? Okay, you need a good platform, you need level 2 data, you need to understand order flow, to be honest. So this is Sierra Charts. I recommend you use something like Sierra or Jigsaw for it, and you need to have depth of market. You need to make sure you've got inside prints. So this is the setup that I have. So I have 2 screens, right? And as I was saying at the start of the stream, I've now condensed them into one, and I have my other analysis on a different page. So let me just show this for you. So now on here I have the whole yield curve on here. Look how much I've just thickened up the book with these orders. So this is the 5, the 30 and the 10s. This is the ultra 10 year, the ultra 30 year, and this is the euro dollar 6E product. So I'm using that for correlations across the board. Whereas before I basically I thought I had to extend these full charts down. I'll show you what. No, I'm not going to bother because it will screw with the scaling. But I had to extend these full charts down that you've probably seen in previous streams, and I had other charts on a different screen. Whereas now I've basically just half the size so that I, can have them all in one peripheral instead of having to look down another screen so I don't miss anything. So you need something, not saying you need 6 DOMs, but you're going to need at least, for order flow, if you're trading indices, you're going to need ES, NQ, Russell, and Dow, or minimum ES and NQ. And then if you're trading treasuries, you're going to need to have minimum probably the 5, 30, and 10 year in there. Yeah, 100%. So good question. So which order flow do I find is the most important? 100% the depth of market. Depth of market just trumps everything, to be honest. Like your footprint that you have at the left here, right? This really is just a fancy way. This is just a fancy way of spotting imbalances, and then I look at the calculated values a lot. So I have delta. It's the difference between aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers for that specific candle, and I have it highlighted. I then have how much positive delta was in that candle, how much negative delta, the cumulative delta for that specific session. Then I have the ask volume minus bid volume as a percentage of the previous candle. Then I have total volume for each candle. Then I have the difference in volume. So you can see just how much when it comes to open, if I scroll back here to the time when open is, right, to show you this. Okay, so here is like an hour before open, right, where you've got 9,411, and this is a 50-minute candle you're seeing, right? Then there's 11,440, 11,000, 10,000. Open happens instantly up to 25k, 35, 30, 32k, and then the candle that I caught the bid on. You look at this. There's 92,000 in this candle here. Crazy. So you need. This is why I don't trade pre-market, because literally, look at the volume difference. You need volume in order for the market to move. And then now the volume here, it's kind of we steadied off a little bit. Then you need 52,000 volume here. This is actually the one that I caught with the bid up here. And then this just marks out imbalances. But all of this, as you can see on the DOM, it's just a different way to look at it, right? Because obviously you're not at the chart the whole time, so. But Daniel is completely correct. Jigsaw is definitely easier out the box to use. I wish this was easy to set up, but this has taken me a long time to configure this specifically. Every single thing you see is a setting. Alex, good question. So the ones that I pay attention to is of course delta for that specific candle to see if anything is flipping. Then I like to see, so for example, is there been any positive or negative delta? Is it all one-sided? That allows me to see that. For example, here is a negative, here's negative delta sum and positive delta, and then cumulative delta that you can see just aggregates as we go. But I would say the delta part's the most important, and then volume I pay attention to. Very very typically, if you're in, say you've got like a 50-minute candle that's got like 15,000 volume or something. This is treasuries, right? So it's different for ES. That's not going to be enough for a breakout. No problem, dude. I'm glad you like it, my friend. No problem, biggie boy. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Embrace the chop. So I was quite surprised that we went so bid here. Like I said, I was basically buying the open, and I faded around about here and took a few ticks, and then I can't remember exactly what profile it was, but it was this specific. Where was the one with 52k? Eh, yeah, it's this one. I think is where I was bid. Need to double check it actually. No, sorry, I'm talking nonsense. It was here. So this was the candle where we started to lift the offer. There was a lot amount of positive delta come in for that 50-minute period, and also if you can notice from there was pretty much no selling that was really coming in for this candle. So I went long here, and it was all she wrote. It was a nice trade. But this was happening across the curve, so I don't just see that and then take a long. You know, that's just one part of the story. So you can actually see what size is coming in. So I don't typically stream my treasury trades live, mostly because um, I'm going to be honest. I can't watch six DOMs execute manage positions. I've got alerts in my ears for if size lifts the offer in the 30 year, the 5, and the tens. So it's constantly telling me 30-year buy. I've got some sounds going on there. Um, I can't do all of that and and speak to and answer questions and stuff. Just being completely honest. So I like to stream at this time where it's we get market on close, and then we stream ES and stuff. Daniel, wasn't that sort of play in the coming bond auction today? Yeah, so there wasn't. It's not one of the big ones today, to be honest with you. With the data being pretty light, I normally am done before the bond auctions, to be honest. Um, I would say last week we actually sold off after the auctions continuously. Like if I've not made my money before the bond auction, I shouldn't really be trading. I'm normally finished. I'm normally finished about 12, 1 o'clock. Yeah, and the bond auction's normally at 1 o'clock. Patachi, how's it going? What's happening, dude? But yeah, Valentin, you're pretty much it's hard to look at what you're seeing on these charts when you're used to looking at traditional candlesticks. It's miles away um, from traditional candlesticks. I only look at the candlesticks in a sort of higher time frame just to see where some key inflection points are on treasuries. When it actually comes to executing on a specific day, I don't have any traditional charts up. So basically, work your way through the OrderFlow series, the playlist. You need to get acquainted with it, understand what you're seeing, and basically put the time in. Hey dude, thanks for commenting and nice of you to stop by. Are you new to OrderFlow? Whereabouts are you in your trading journey, dude? By the way, Daniel, you were saying as well, I added on, let me just jump onto this. So I added on Eurodollar at the bottom right here, and I still think, look how look how thick the Eurodollar is versus ES, as you were saying as well. It's crazy. Oh, you've been watching for about a month. Okay, nice one. What products do you trade? Look at this, it's crazy. 10,000 absorbed there on the offer. ES and NQ. Nice one, dude. There actually is more action in treasuries right now than there is in ES. Well, in terms of flows at least. But it's a nightmare when the book's this thick. It really thickens up after this time. You're going to struggle to get filled. You need to jump in now to get filled, for example, right? And then you need that to be lifted and then them to stack up. So they clear that off, tick down, and then you want to see buyers basically clear this off and then reload the bids here. Let's see if they do that. They do, clear it, then reload. So if you did get off there, you're down a tick for a split second, but you had 1700 behind you, then you'd want this to tick up for one tick. So you need someone to basically tick up into it. So the trade 25s in, bid stays pretty strong. Now it's now 800, so you want to see them tick up here, and you'd want to then get filled. And then note this 1k, it's 1100, 1200, 1300. You want to see if they tick up into this, what actually happens. So does this dissipate or not? And that's what I mean by offers being pulled or bids been pulled. So you need to pay attention to this and you need to see it all the time. So they tick one in, offer stays strong. We'd be surprised now if they just clear this and then reload the offer, but let's see. Yeah, so they clear, offer reloaded. So anyway, let's jump back in. No problem, dude. So would you actually, here's a question. Do you guys want to watch ES like this, or do you want to watch the treasury setup there? Let me know. Type treasuries or indices. What do you want to see? We'll put a vote out. If I was savvy enough, I would do a poll, but you guys can just type. Let me know what you want to see. Do you want to watch treasuries or do you want to watch ES? Okay, great. I'll just shove my treasuries where the sun don't shine. Which is precisely why I don't stream treasuries. It's awfully boring. Okay, so we've got 11k delta here so far, which is going to have to be closed out before the session most likely. What was the high on delta for the session? 12k, so nothing major. That can be wiped out in a couple of candles or 5 minutes. Okay, so unanimous decision then for indices it is then. Yeah, power comes alive. Hopefully the next hour breaks out of this range. So, Bonaz. Okay, pooling and stacking. It's harder to see on ES when the book is like this. But generally, the market moves in two ways. It moves with aggression, just one side of the aggression taking the market one direction, right? That's when days when you're going to see huge amounts of positive delta. The market's just going bid, and any sort of tiny pullback has just been extremely bought up, right? That's normally going to be accompanied by tons of positive delta. However, on days like today, there's been a little bit of buying and selling flows coming in. It's actually been quite good ranges, to be honest, for Monday. Um, but the pulling and stacking concept is, the market gets to a high, the offer basically stays strong. They start hitting into the bid, and as they're doing so, the bid just cancels. And you'll see when the market flows through. I'm just using this as an example. So say they're selling in here, only 3 contracts trade, only 13 trades here, 3 here, 5 here, 37, 7, so on and so forth. And typically in every single price, market makers are layering the book. So even though you see that these orders here, that there's 72, 50, it changes continuously, right? When the price actually gets to these levels, they can just cancel off, and it doesn't take as much to trade through. So as an example, if you've got 50 on the bid and only 10 contracts trade into it, or 12 contracts for that matter, and the remainder cancels, it will tick down with the 2 contracts, and just the bid just cancels off. So you can spot that in real time, but it's much harder when the market's thinner. You just might as well pay attention to sweep levels. I must say this in every stream, but ES is difficult at the moment. It's a completely different style to how I used to trade on ES years ago. So I normally do that when we get to key inflection points, mate, just to quickly spot the absorption happening as well. But for example, right now, like in here when it's like 223 here, 93 here, I don't really pay attention to that. To be honest, I just want to see when it gets to key inflection points. If I clear it, right, and then they're hitting in, you can see they're aggregating in, and someone is absorbing here. You can see that, right? So they can't break here. If they do crack here, this should go for like 3-4 ticks below if they can break this level. and they can. So you can see sellers are aggressively hitting in here, but the bid is staying strong. Do you see that? They're hitting in. I mean, this should be going in theory. Let's clear this just so it's... So you can see that sellers are coming in, right? Do you see that? They're hitting in 205. They're trying to push this down, but buyers are just absorbing right now. But if sellers do start getting really aggressive here, this is going to drop, and we'll probably target. We're probably going to target just out of value down here. No real direction at all. Just currently at previous day close. So today has been, you know, an absolutely nothing burger. They could almost just remove this day from the diary so far and nothing would have happened. So now you've got buyers basically lifting in, but as you can see, not as much as having to trade to push it up. So see if sellers are going to defend, but buyers just essentially lifted up 5 ticks there with no real defense in the way on the offer. Whereas down here you could see that buyers were really stepping up to absorb all of this selling. So they've just absorbed, 400 or 500 contracts in a matter of a couple of minutes, and then put it back up into point of control. So let's see if they can target up here 69.5 for this 50s, where this 50 lot is printing. So the difference than when price is down here is there just doesn't seem to be any offer in the way right now. See that? There's just no offer really. Yeah. So taking out that 50, now you can see there's 154 contracts absorbed. Let's see if they're going to continually step in. If they do, they'll go down and fill out this 50 lot here. Let's see if sellers hit it with some size. And that's what I mean by the offer being pulled. 9 contracts traded, 35, 18, 20. And then you get up to this level and they're absorbing, 150, 200 contracts. Okay, let's see if they can hit it. They cannot. Okay, definitely something to note there. Okay, they do. I was about to say they didn't take the 50 and just bounced off it. A little bit too eager on. Okay, so the market swept through these levels, which is surprising that it swept through the POC to be honest, but the market's basically swept through here. It's continuing to sweep through, you see that? Until we get down here. So pretty much we're working this range from, these 4 ticks to like these 4 ticks, and in between here, we can call this like a sort of sweepy zone. And the market's working its way through these levels, like so. Alright, and let's see if they continue on the action here, where they absorb down here on the bid. Offer gets pulled, we sweep around back to POC. And in essence, whatever side they do break here, if they break it with some size, you should get some stops to trigger a little bit. So they should be punching this through here if it was to be going down, but they're not succeeding. Here we go. NQ can pop down a little bit more. We should have a go at it. If we don't, then we're back in the middle again. I still think the sweep of these levels down here is on the cards. They basically clear off the 10k delta, take some stops, and then revert it back into the mean to end the session. See how the bid is still willing to absorb, but then a difference in the middle here where they just, cut through the prices. You guys see that, right? Let me know if you get any other questions. It's kind of like watching paint dry at the minute. Good amount of selling has come in here. No problem, dude. No problem. So pretty much right now we've seen, over 1,000 contracts absorbed here on the bid. If sellers do continually bang this, then we should see a little mini stop run below this. When the ranges are this tight, what price is that here? So we should see a little stop run, 62 and 3/4, pretty much through here. Is that right? I think it is, just to double check that. Yeah. Okay, a little mini stop run below here, if it can break it. As you can see, there is 1,000, probably got now 1,500 contracts absorbed on the bid here. So you've got it two ways right now. If sellers bash below here, then there's going to be a little mini stop run. But all this selling down here, if buyers start to basically put some pressure on this, these guys are going to have to puke, and then we're then back up at 70s up here again. This is quite a lot of selling that's been absorbed, especially considering the book is so thin. Hey Nick, how's it going, dude? Had a good day today, mate. Had I think my best day in the last few weeks, which is good. Which is really good. Nice way to start the week. Well, when I do it on, so just so you're aware, I have, if you've not changed settings on this, basically uh, this will aggregate for 2.5 seconds, but then when it comes back to the next price, if it's been away for 2.5 seconds, it will reset. So I don't need to reset it, but I do it just to keep it cleaner. It's nicer in the eyes, right? We'll wait till this stops aggregating, right? And then we'll clear. So you can see now that if buyers do continually buying this, these guys are going to have to puke soon. So I mean, if they really do start hitting this, if they get probably above, the obvious level is going to be here. Need to clear this 50 lot. Well, it should be no problem to clear, but we need to bang through here with some size. Because you really, really, really need to pay attention to the inside prints. Like, because nowadays, the bid and offer, with how thin this is absolutely meaningless now. The inside prints are literally the be all and end all. So currently the theme is, which is surprising, let me get the pen, but this sort of level here, they're just pulling bids and offers quickly. I mean, they are trading a little bit here, but the theme so far is pull the bid and offer, absorb, absorb like here, and then of course they're absorbing down here. And then everything in between, there's not taking that many contracts to basically get its way through. It's pretty much been the case. I mean, they are kind of two-way trading now, I suppose, which is kind of, you know, interesting because normally you expect huge two-way at POC and stuff. Nice, Nick. Where did you go on vacation, dude? Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, dude. I mean, I really pay attention to the bid and offer, but it's just harder when the book is so thin on ES. So you can see that they're just cancelling. So there's an iceberg here. You can see that clear iceberg. There wasn't 200 contracts. They're continually reloading, so which is the same theme. Absorbing here, and then they pull the offer and bang it up back into here. The reason why I'm saying the inside prints are so important, I mean they're always important, right? But um, I'm just pulling here. See that? 16, 33, 14. It's because the book is so thin that icebergs are now extremely important because they are almost a support and resistance in themselves. And but as the inside print, yeah, the recent bid and ask volume, yeah. And also in some of the terminology that you hear saying is like they take out the next price and then it'll go offered, it'll go bid. It's hard to say it when the market moves this quickly, but it's easier to spot it on treasuries when it happens. You want them to be taking the next price and then going bid, which means reloading the next price. Oh wow, dude, that sounds class. Hopefully you had a good time, mate. My god, just watching paint dry here. Continue same theme. Jeez. A buyer, look at the amount of selling absorption here for being so thin. Really defending this. If we get down to this level, this could be a great buy back up. Just depending on what the flow does, but it could be quite nice. But Bonaz, I would probably clear the inside prints just how often you feel like it, to be honest. Just keeps it cleaner, I suppose. Yeah, I was thinking something the same as well, mate. But I don't know. Well, you never know what happens when the volume comes in, but it's just not looking like I was expecting down here, to be honest. Sweep down here and then work its way back up. Um, but considering the range is so tight at the minute, we could literally sweep here, here. It could be a really lackluster market on close. I think, to be honest, if it does this and this, I don't think the trade's really on. I don't actually really like sweeping anything to the upside, to be honest. Um, I don't know, what would you maybe sweep here? But then they need to get through this high volume node, here, which I don't think is going to happen. I think the only sweep is to the downside, maybe here and here. You can see. I can clear them more frequently for you, dude. See, when you think of a Monday, no data on the calendar, is this not what you picture? Like if I say to you, all right, Monday week begin, no data in the calendar, you know, tier one data come out the next day. Is this not exactly what you'd be picturing? So knowing that, would you not then just be fading any high and low or previous high and previous day low and stuff? Yeah, upside looks miserable. Yeah, I see what you mean, Daniel. So like what you're saying here is this exact example. Um, they aggressively hit into the bid absorbs, lift the offer, reload the bid, and basically tick up, and these guys need to start covering, is what you're meaning, right? And then you have, a quick sweep up. Yeah, I mean the market's got to move. I would say this is actually quite good action today. I kind of see what you're saying, but typically, the previous day high, previous day low, and stuff, are great levels to be sweeping when it's a Monday balanced, no data on the calendar. Yeah, I'm with you, Daniel. I'm with you. Glad we're seeing the same things there. It's good. Many hours staring at these damn screens. And that's the hardest thing as well about a course, I just don't even know how that would ever be a thing to even do. God, it would be so difficult to. God, even thinking about that, I can't imagine how to put everything. I suppose I put it on YouTube for free, to be honest. But in terms of developing a course, it's really hard to condense knowledge that you get over time to explain it. I think that would be quite challenging. And I think to be perfectly honest, there's no substitute for just doing it yourself. Like you can understand the concepts that I say and what is shown in the videos and just the kind of general feel for what you're doing, but there's no substitute for just staring at the DOMs yourself. Like you can't, you know. Hopefully that makes sense. Good question, mate. So I'll typically, so I trade from open, bond open. Um, I would say first 2 hours. Obviously, I've got water and shit at my desk. Um, but after a couple of hours, I'll then really reflect on how I'm doing. And obviously if I'm steaming in those 2 hours, I just leave the screen if I ever get into that zone. But I don't really enter that zone anymore. Um, but yeah, definitely after a couple of hours, you need to go and get some fresh air. Yeah, Alex, how's it going? The New York Fed had a hidden recession data point, which gave some risk off flows. Yeah, exactly. You just need to know what you're looking for and then put as many hours as you can into it. And when you understand, the market is like super connected, um, correlations are extremely important, and you just get you just get a almost a feel for it, to be honest. And that only comes by intuition and pattern recognition. Things like tons of delta comes in, 5 to 10,000 delta comes in such a short space of time, and the market doesn't move, you know, then those guys are extremely net long, and you better believe they're going to be put under pressure, so you can go short and basically ride the puke. Just as an example. But this is the what's quite crazy about trading is every day is slightly different. There's a variation on theme. You have day types, and you need to basically establish first off what kind of day type you're in, what's the theme so far of the session, because if the theme so far of the session is balanced, right, no one is going to want to step up and be that guy, right, that tries to make a run of it. Do you know what I mean? Everyone then plays in the playing field. Or if you're in a price discovery, one time framing day, then people are more likely to start, banging it and go with the direction. So the theme of the session is really important. And if there's no data on the calendar, then the theme is not really going to be changed a lot of the time. Um, so yeah, and that's another thing as well. If you were looking to catch a reversal, right, or catch a falling knife, as people say, what makes you think at that time that you're going to buy that other people are also going to do the same? And that's where order flow comes in, because you want to be waiting for them to at least show their hand that they're buying, or selling is exhausting, or whatever the case may be. I know I didn't read anything about fair value gaps there. Let me see. What did you say? I don't know. I didn't think you saw anything said anything about fair value gaps. I mean, fair value gaps are, put the time into doing that analysis on that, and anyone that then says fair value gaps is the thing. The irony is, I can guarantee you that ICT's not even done that analysis on it, and he created the damn thing. It's literally like Scientology for traders. Sellers are really struggling here, aren't they? To just to look at the jeez, over 2k absorbed on the bid here. Yeah, exactly. You need to really pay attention to delta. It's an important factor for sure. Yeah, this is a composite. It's normally I find when I'm streaming ES, or do you mean do I add them together? Yeah, I do add them together sometimes for the week just to see what the week is. But because ES is so wacky, um, or it's really thin these days, and it's quite a big range, I find it's quite hard to use the letters in there. I have it split out like that for treasuries. But I really like looking at the market in terms of TPOs. It's just a much more chilled way to look at the market. What's perceived as value, where the market rejected, where single prints were. You know, it's nicer to look at it in terms of a bell curve than than candles. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if anyone's ever tried to watch that Dalton stuff. It's so boring. Oh, look at that. We're breaking out the range. Woohoo. Market profile is just a different way to look at the market. Do I ever do this sort of, excess at the highs and stuff like that? Yeah, I mean, I suppose I do look at that. I would never take a trade on it, though, specifically. But it's just sort of general context that I look at. I think it's a nicer way ultimately to look at the market than. Okay, we could be getting this sweep and play down for like 56s. See if we get it. Need to break here and then it should go. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Brian. It's so it's so two-way these days, though. That's the thing. Which is how thin the book is. You need to train the eye differently to what it was like. Right, I'm hoping they continually bang this through, take out this, work our way down. It's funny that we stopped literally just outside of value. Oh, interesting. Interesting that the scary index is rising. Certainly hitting it seller wise here, but the bid is gobble gobble so far. We have 9 minutes till action. Okay, let's try out this first sweep level if we do get there. Hope we do. 56 and a quarter. And this other one's just a low of day, isn't it? Be interesting to see if they can crack here. They don't seem to be hitting it right now. I can honestly see us finishing right this POC, and it's been a really lackluster market on close here. I don't know why, I just get that feeling. Which I hope I'm wrong. Okay, sellers need to try and absorb here and then continue the way down if there's to be any continual selling side here. What do you guys think? Do you think we'll get a sweep? Sweep of the low? I mean, this is the thing. If they do come in here with like 5,000 negative delta, which could very easily happen, this thing could, we could get down to like 48s and then work away, but it's gonna need to be done with a ton of selling. You're planning for it. I mean, the only trade opportunity I think is the sweep of, I don't really think I would take this one because if it does break down here, then it's not too far away for him just to bang it down here and then work its way back up. But just look how much has just been absorbed in the bid. There's another 1,000 contracts or so down here absorbed, you know? Okay, here we go. See if they can hit it. Come on, someone throw something at it. On just a couple hundred contracts in one clip, we'll get this through. Let's see. Okay, bang it. Nope. This is why you don't trade breakouts in ES. Every time you're like, come on, go. Brutal action. Short 63s. That was a good short, mate. Did you basically short the retest of the kind of mini imbalance that was created? We did get a free look at that. We're hoping that went. That should have really went there, to be honest. Literally a tick below value. Yeah, exactly. I completely agree, Daniel. I think that's you're better trading what you see, man. Right, here we go. Second attempt. If they can punch this, this can go. Do you see that though? They're just getting down here and they're just not hitting it. No one is stepping up to the plate, and then the offer has been pulled at the same time. Kind of feels a bit like a trap. Yeah, just no interest. They should. That was. I mean, when we got into the value area low here, they should have hit that. They could have really crunched it, but they are pulling the offer, and then they're still defending here. You know, so it's like they're trying to absorb a little bit more before they do hit it. It's the only theory I've got. It's definitely not clean, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. Well, we've got probably what 1 minute remaining. Would be nice to get a break before that, to be honest, but I just get a feeling that if they don't bang it sooner rather than later, if any real buying comes in here, all this selling's gonna have to puke, and then we're gonna be back at POC in no time. See, they're just not hitting it, are they? Those lows. 79 contracts ticks into the low and no one's pushing it. Not great. That's what the third time at the low. See if the fourth time's gonna be a charm. Here we go. Let's see now. Last line of defence. Sellers need to hold here, or it's back into the range we go. And there's going to be a lot of short liquidations if they continue. Yeah. Oh. This is shocking action. Yeah, messy. Really, really messy action. Well, we'll see what happens when we get the algo smasheroo at 4 o'clock. If you guys could like the stream for me, there's a number of you watching, hit the like button please. Only 13 likes, you guys need to try and get that closer to 31 for me. Please and thank you. It's now or never. Here we go. Uh, Shockaroonie. Thank you guys. Hey CWR, you're leaning short. I'd love to see this going, but they're just the bid is just defending. Like the sellers are having to fight for every single tick here. I mean, thousands of contracts traded to move 6 or 7. Well, maybe not 6 or 7. Like 10 to 12 ticks here. I kind of feel when in the next 5 minutes, the offer is going to be pulled, and we are just going to be right back at POC. Which I think is going to be the play in 5 minutes. Yeah. No problem, Nick. Have a good meeting, dude. Vix is dumping. Glad you're enjoying the stream. CWR. That was good. Thanks, guys. We just gained 11 likes there. Very nice. Yeah, I think we'll probably end at like 65, 68. Yeah, somewhere in here is gonna range. But we'll see. Yeah, exactly. Close around over here, and today's just been a nothing day today, which is to be expected with CPI data. Mm, this has been just untradable action. Let's clear these prints. You went long at 58 1/4, and you closed 63. Wow, well done, dude. Good trade. Nicely done. That's a banger. Good trade, mate. Okay, 1 minute remaining. Wow. Look at that for a stop run at the high there. Absolutely mooning, then work its way back down to POC. So what happens when you see, well, you can't really see it now, but the amount of selling that was down here, it was absorbed. It all had to cover on the way up. Some amount of buying just come in there. Look at them just chewing the offer there. See that? Just exiting out all their positions and along there. Yeah. Once they pull the bid here, we're back down to POC. Sneaky. If you're fast enough, that was quite good flows there. Do you see the amount of absorption those 3 ticks? You know, them in essence just closing out their positions to pull the bid and then back down at POC. Classic. Yep. Yeah, that's a good point, Cal. It's a good point, but that's pretty much all she wrote now. We're just going to faff around POC now, and the day will end at settlement. Our previous day close. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. With it being pretty slow, quite a good few OrderFlow talking points. It's a good one to spot absorption that we could see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. No problem, Bonaz. Glad you enjoyed it, dude. Glad you enjoyed it, my friend. Enjoy walking the dog out. Yeah, hopefully we'll see some better action tomorrow. Hopefully it's a good day in treasuries. It was a cracker of a day today. Some nice flows, decent ranges. I don't know if anyone's got any questions. Yep, sure is. Sure is, mate. Kind of a lackluster close though, to be honest. Daniel, you're a madman. I suppose you like this kind of stuff. You know, when you're only going for a few tickaroos. I suppose with that earlier when we had the lines drawn out and you're seeing a sweep in between, that's your kind of go-to stuff, right? When you've got, you know, I don't know, like an 8 tick sweep range, where they're just sweeping through those prices, absorbing at the highs, you're just working in between there, right? Taking your 3-4 ticks, I suppose. And that's probably your staple. You find out the environment for that and then just work in between it until it doesn't work, I suppose. But you're right. Do that 4 or 5 times, you're up 15-20 ticks. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You know, no one's really willing to hit it. I mean, even that hit in the lows, like the bid was still super strong when we got down. You know, we got down to here. The bid was extremely strong. Um, you know, down here we saw a couple of thousand contracts absorbed on the bid. Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree, mate. The one directional days are brutal. I much prefer the balanced days like this. The action was better in the AM session, of course. Anyways, guys, hope you have a great evening. We'll be on tomorrow to stream. Hopefully the action is a little bit better. At least market on close is a little bit more aggressive with some moves. This one was a bit slow. Quite readable though, but not exactly the biggest ranges. No problem, Daniel. Thanks, dude. You guys take care, and everyone have a great evening, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Okay. Peace, everyone.